Planning meal times for the baby. Nature equips a newborn baby with the ability to express their needs, such as hunger, through crying. As they grow older, their meal and nap times form a pattern. You should learn to recognize this pattern and plan the baby's meal times accordingly. Let us learn how to do this. We will also look at some considerations you should keep in mind while preparing and serving food to an older baby who eats solid food. Let us first learn about meal times of a newborn baby. In the first 3 months of an infant's life, till the digestive system is developed to take external food, breast milk should be the sole source of nutrition. This sterile suspension has the right proportion of nutrients to meet the needs of the baby. There are many advantages of breastfeeding. It contains the right balance of nutrients to help the baby grow and stay healthy. Breast milk contains antibodies that protect the baby against infections and illnesses. The risk of allergies such as pollen or various types of food when the baby grows up is also reduced. Let us look at some important points you should keep in mind while you are breastfeeding. First, remember that it is very important for you to take a balanced, nutritious diet. You must also ensure that you keep yourself well hydrated. Mothers are concerned about whether or not the baby is getting enough milk. Watch out for signs such as how relaxed and satisfied a baby seems after a feed. The baby's weight increase is another sign that indicates that the baby is feeding well. Note that milk production is caused by the suckling action of the baby. Encourage the baby to suckle in order to increase the supply of milk. If you are not with your baby throughout the day, you can express milk manually or using a breast pump. This milk can be fed to the baby later using a spoon or a bottle. If you are having problems with breastfeeding or expressing milk, you should contact a lactation consultant. Formula milk is the next best option for a baby in the early months of their life. Prepare the formula milk hygienically, as advised on the formula milk pack or by the baby's doctor. Wash your hands thoroughly. Pour the recommended amount of water. Measure the appropriate amount of formula milk powder with a clean and dry spoon. Pour the powder into the water. Mix well. Check the temperature of the milk on your wrist before feeding it to the baby. Give the baby additional drinking water if they are on formula milk. It is recommended that you burp the baby after feeding them. This is especially important if the baby faces digestion problems. To burp the baby, hold them against your chest and rest their chin on your shoulder. Gently pat or rub the baby's back with your hand. Remember to keep a napkin on your shoulder in case they throw out some milk. The general rule you should remember is that you should feed a baby when they express hunger or demand to be fed. For a small baby, this mainly happens through crying. As the baby grows, their meal times form a pattern. You should recognize this pattern and prepare to feed the baby according to their routine. You can wean the baby off milk from 3 to 6 months of age. The easiest digestive food is fruit. Options such as stewed apple or pear work well. Mashed bananas and fruit and vegetable juices are good options too. Gradually progress to whole fruit, vegetable soup and stewed vegetables. Next, add blended lentils, cereals, grains, breads and rice to the baby's diet. Give the baby additional drinking water if they are taking external food. By the time the baby has teeth, around 1 year of age, the baby should be given a combination of various food types. You should include grains, vegetables, fruits, dairy products, and protein-based food. Break up the baby's daily food intake into 5 to 6 small meals through the day. You may also start including some raw vegetables as salad with the baby's cooked meal. Raw vegetables provide essential nutrients that get destroyed by cooking. Avoid giving the baby junk food such as sugary treats, fizzy drinks, and fried food. Let us learn about some points you should keep in mind while feeding solid food to babies. If the baby rejects or does not like a food that you have introduced in their diet, remove that food for a few days. Try to reintroduce the food to the baby after a few days. Do not introduce multiple varieties of food at the same time. Give a gap of a few days between 2 new foods. Remember to keep sufficient time in between meals and snacks so that the child is hungry enough to eat, but is not too hungry either. Before you prepare or serve the child's meal, remember to wash your hands thoroughly. Check that the sipper, fork and spoon do not have any sharp edges. The baby's utensils should be washed and, if required, sterilized properly. Set out the meal for the baby before bringing the baby to the table. Make sure that food is not too hot. Make the child wear a bib. If the baby is able to sit on a high chair, secure them on the high chair. Remove any distractors such as television or loud music to help them focus on eating. You should encourage older babies to pick up finger foods such as sautéed vegetables and eat themselves. Serve the baby such foods and remember to wash their hands if they are eating themselves. Clean the baby's hands and face after a meal. Remember, by planning meal times well for the baby, you are securing their health. Let's recap. In the first 3 months of an infant's life, breast milk should be the sole source of nutrition. If the baby breastfeeds, you should take a balanced, nutritious diet and keep yourself well hydrated. Encourage the baby to suckle in order to increase the supply of milk. If the baby is on formula milk, prepare it hygienically, as advised on the formula milk pack or by the baby's doctor. Give them additional drinking water. Burp the baby after feeding them, especially if the baby faces digestion problems. A general rule to remember is that you should feed a baby when they express hunger or demand to be fed. You can wean the baby off milk from 3 to 6 months of age. give them additional drinking water. Break up the baby's daily food intake into 5 to 6 small meals through the day. Avoid giving the baby junk food. If the baby rejects or does not like a food, remove that food for a few days. Reintroduce the food to the baby after a few days. Do not introduce multiple varieties of food at the same time. Remember to keep sufficient time in between meals. Before you prepare or serve the child's meal, remember to wash your hands thoroughly. The baby's utensils should be washed and, if required, sterilized properly. Set out the meal for the baby before bringing the baby to the table. Make sure the food is not too hot. Make the child wear a bib. Encourage older babies to pick up finger foods and eat themselves. Clean the baby's hands and face after a meal.